Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to my second channel. Right, I'm going to talk about the books I read in April, and I didn't even bring them down for this video. Prepared. One second. What was the first one I read? So, first one I read on the 1st of April actually was Praise by Sarah Kate, or is it Sarah Kate? I'm not too sure. I'd seen this going around. Everyone's recommending it on TikTok. I was a little bit nervous because when something is super hyped on TikTok, I'm like, I went on to Goodreads, had a really good look at some of the reviews and decided to give it a go. This was a great time. I gave it 5 stars because it is taboo. I believe I have read the second book in the series that just came out. I believe they're all taboo reads. This one is ex-boyfriend's dad, age gap. There is a praise kink, obviously. Dom sub, he owns a BDSM club. She goes to see him because he has like part of the deposit from her and her ex-boyfriend's house or apartment or something, and her ex-boyfriend's like, just go and find my dad, like he's got it because it was like under his name or something like that. Go to him, you can sort it out and get the money. She's like, right dick, I will. So she goes, but then the famous line of what kind of like convinced everyone to read it, and it was really good, is that she goes and his assistant or secretary or something believes that she is his new sub. So when she meets him, because they've never met before, he tells her to get on her knees. Actually, no, his assistant tells her, you better be on your knees when he comes in, and she's like so freaked out in that moment, doesn't know what to do, that she just like does it, and she doesn't understand why she's just done that. And then they have this really embarrassing moment when they figure out like, oh my god, you're his ex-girlfriend, oh wow. Anyway, so she becomes his secretary. It's lovely, it's kinky, he owns a BDSM club, it's lots of fun. And it's a really good story. I really enjoyed the storytelling and the plot behind it, and I really love their relationship. It wasn't as kinky as I would like, to be honest. I kind of found the smut a little bit vanilla, but it did make up for it. Like, there's plenty of smut. It's just a bit repetitive, I found, but I still give it 5 stars because it was a great time. Right, next. I read The Point of No Return by Devin Sinclair. This is a reverse harem. Now, you know I don't normally go for reverse harems that are this long. This is like a full-length novel. It's 409 pages. I don't mind RH when it's like a short erotic novella, like Scream for Us and The Dare by Harley LaRue. I don't mind that, but I kind of like can't get into it when it's so long and there's so many characters that are involved in this relationship. It's just not my thing. I haven't found one other than this one that's really kept my attention. So this one's great. It's very Phantom of the Opera vibes, definitely. And we have an ex-ballet dancer who, a clip of her goes viral, of her singing, and she's brought to Paris where she's going to sing in a production, and the gargoyles of this like theatre where she's staying with all the other cast members kind of awaken at night. They're cursed to stay there, and they realise that it's fated mates, that she is their collective fated mate. And yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed all of the gargoyles. They were a lot of fun, and how they're gonna try and break the curse. It was obviously hot, steamy, sexy. There's a few scenes in there. The chase scene, beautiful. We love a little bit of primal. That was great, loved that. And yeah, it was a great time. What did I give this? I think I gave this one 5 stars as well. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I put a rapid fire review. Reverse harem, 3 hot monster gargoyles, 1 female, fated mates, Phantom of the Opera vibes, low angst, high steam, and a very hot primal CNC scene as well. So yeah, definitely recommend if you're into your reverse harem, and even if you're not, it's really good. I would definitely recommend you give it a try. Now this one, let me double check this one. Okay, so the next one I read was Alpha Inmate by Liliana Carlisle. I gave this one 4 stars. My review was this was a short bit of steamy fun. Definitely needs editing as the typos were a bit jarring. Yes, I remember that. But if you're down for some steamy alpha omega fun, give it a go. Yes, so this one we've got our heroine who goes to like a prison to work with, she's meant to be working with betas, but accidentally, well not accidentally, but ends up working with like the deadliest alpha there. And she's an omega, she hasn't been marked, she hasn't got a mate, and yeah, as you can tell from that, it's how long is it? 183 pages, so not very long. There was quite a lot of typos, and it's about basically how he's like, he knows deep down somewhere inside of him that she is meant to be his. So yeah, it's a romance, it's steamy. There's a lot of things that happen that if you actually stopped and thought about it too much, you're like, that doesn't make sense. How would that work? You know, you're in this prison, and I know he's like meant to be really smart and stuff, but where there should be way more security and things like that. But I did appreciate when you get a prologue at the beginning where it kind of jumps forward to like the climax and then it goes all the way back in time, so you know you're leading up to something really dramatic. I enjoyed that. It kept me, you know, reading, and I read this really quickly. So it's good, it's a little alpha omega fun, but it definitely needs a round with an editor, I'd say. Okay, then we have Reckless Air by Jenica Snow. I think it's my first from this author, and I've heard a lot about them. So my review was, sorry, you know I don't prepare for these videos, I'm absolutely terrible. Rounded up to a 4, okay. Good time, short and easy read, low plot, high spice, mafia, arranged marriage. First book I've read in the series, we'll definitely be checking out the others. Lost a star due to the fact that it seemed the author forgot she was writing a dual point of view book. Ah, yeah, and we only got a few chapters from Nikolai's point of view at the start and then nothing more. That infuriated me. Like, you were getting dual point of view and then literally 50% through, you stopped getting the hero's point of view. You're either gonna write a dual point of view book or you're not. Make up your mind. And you know what's really bad? I can barely remember this book, but I really enjoyed it. I always wonder that when I get to these books. I always need to sometimes refresh them. Some of them are just like ingrained in your head. You know, those are the really good ones, they'll stay with you forever. Then you got the ones you like just need a little glance, like, oh yeah, character names or whatever. But then some, you're like, I really enjoyed that. I remember enjoying it, but what was it about? Maybe because I said there wasn't much plot and it was mainly steam, I don't remember what it's about. That's what happens with these kind of books. Give me a second. Okay, so yeah, it's basically arranged marriage, touch her and you die, and lots of steam, and a batshit crazy hero who is obsessed with our heroine. So like every other one, but I remember really enjoying it. Fuck, I'm not good at this job. Okay, next one, I read Finding Chica by Mitch Albom, and I can't remember crying this much since Les Miserables, honestly. This one tore me apart. Because I didn't really read the back or what it was about, I kind of went in and I read a little bit. When Chica was 3 days old, she survived Haiti's devastating 2010 earthquake despite a tiny house collapsing around her. 2 years later, her mother died and Chica was brought to a nearby orphanage run by the author, Mitch Albom, it's non-fiction, and his wife, Janine. And I think I just read that and I was like, a little girl, an earthquake, and the making of a family. Are they going to adopt her? This is a true story. I love Mitch Albom. I like it, you know, it's great to read a non-fiction from him. It's going to be really heartwarming. This destroyed me because if I'd have just carried on reading the back, she basically gets a terminal illness. It's gonna kill her. So I've got to tell you right now, don't go in because this upset me. And it's hard for me to cry at a book, but I was sobbing throughout because you know what happens. You're just so upset the whole way. It's not a happy book. Yes, it's uplifting and beautiful and it warms your soul to read. It really does. Of how they tried to find every treatment possible and how they brought her back and brought her into this family and how they create this family together, and it was so beautiful. But the whole time, you know how devastating it is, and it just broke my heart. So if you want a good cry, it's not very long. Most of Mitch Albom's books aren't. It's just over 240 pages. Oh my God, it was so good. This author just, his writing, he keeps making me cry. Honestly, I've cried at almost all of his books. Or teared up. I have never been completely like, except for Tuesday with Maury, I wasn't that teary on that one, but that was like the only one. The others, like 5 People Me in Heaven, One Day More, I was like, yeah. So this one is heartbreaking, it's non-fiction, I would recommend, but oh my God, have those tissues at the ready, because you're gonna go through it with this book. Two more. Then I read Eyes on Me by Sarah Kate, which is the second one in the, is this the Salacious Players Club? So again, it's taboo. This one, I didn't know what to expect from this book, other than I knew it was stepbrother and sister that hated each other. The parents got married at a much later age, so he never really knew her as a child, only really knew her when he was growing up. So it's age gap. She's his stepsister, and he obviously works at this club. And he's a voyeur. He likes voyeurism. He likes watching, as we see in the first book with him, because his characters appear, and he's a really great character. And then he goes onto these campsites and discovers his stepsister is on one of these campsites, and he like requests like a private meeting room online with her, and that keeps going on, and he goes to see her, and it was really good. It was really good. It never gave me the ick. I think because he never really saw her as his sister, because he was so much older when their parents got married. They used to fight and squabble and stuff when she was like a teenager and stuff. and he was like a young adult and always seemed very protective over her, but still they used to argue and he's like, oh, she was a little shit. But it never gave me the ick, which is really important because sometimes these like age gap and things like this and taboo, like stepsister, stepbrother romance can really, I don't know, it's the way they're written sometimes. I'm like, like Welcome to the Dark Side. I was like, too much. I don't know, for me that was just too much the way it was written. This one, fantastic. I think they gave this one 5 stars as well. Great little taboo moment. And then the last one I read in April was Brutal Vows by JT Guy Singer. And this is the last one in the Monsters and Queens, or Queens and Monsters, whichever way around it is, series. And I didn't realize it was the last in the series. And I read her like author notes at the end. She was like, thank you for coming on this journey. This is the last one. So this is book 4. And I've loved every single one of them. And they have got like, the first one now I'd actually put at the bottom of the pile. I gave that first book 5 stars, second book 6 stars, third book 5 stars, and I gave this one 5 stars, but I was so close to giving it a 6. I don't know whether I should. I don't know whether to land that on my 6-star radar. I really don't. So this one, we follow Spider, and we finally got an arranged marriage. Be married off to the daughter of the Italian mobster people. And he's like, yeah, fine, whatever, I'll just do it, because he doesn't want to connect with anyone. If anything, it's like this arranged marriage is better for him because it's like almost forced, like, you know, they're both concerned, they're both going to have to do it. So just put them together, and it's better if he's not attracted to his wife and he doesn't want a connection. He just doesn't. He's like really fucked up, bless him. But then when he gets there, obviously the girl he's meant to be married is like terrified. She's not a heroine. Her auntie is a heroine. So we get an older female, I think she's 34. I want to say 34, like early 30s. Nice to read about a female lead who's more my age. And he takes one look at her, she takes one look at him, and he calls her a viper, and obviously he's called Spider. And oh my God, it's so good. She just has this way of writing, especially her female leads, the banter, the sarcasm. She is the toughest. You think in Carnal Urges, Sloane is the toughest? Wait, she is a widow. Basically, our heroine in this one, she's a widow. She's already been married, and for trigger warning, it was a horrifically abusive marriage. Made her tough as nails, honestly. And obviously he doesn't want to marry the other one, but he's like, I can't marry you. Oh my God, like I want you. I don't want you. Like your sister doesn't want, your niece doesn't want me. I don't want her. Like, oh, it's so good. And you're like, how are they gonna get around this? And then when it happens, it's like, yes. And then it's sexy and steamy. Like there is a slow build-up, but when it ooh, fireworks. When it happens, it's so good. What a brilliant way to end the series, but I'm so sad this series is over. It's probably one of my favorite series ever. I'm definitely going to be getting the collection at some point of these books, because I'm definitely down for a reread of these, like 1st to 4th all the way through. Fantastic. So those were the books I read in April. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you have been reading recently, and I will see you in the next one. Blake, don't scratch up the sofa. You've been so good this whole video. Anyway, loving, leaving, shutting up, subscribe, like, comment, share, all the fun stuff, do all of it, do none of it. Etsy shop, link down below, go check it out, and I'll see you in the next one.